Hello. First of all, first thing you guys gotta realize, I'm talking about the gray area. And so many were like, Masa, what does the gray area mean? Tell me before you talk. No, I'm gonna say it now, okay? We must understand the importance of the gray area. I mean, I'm either too mean and, horrible, or I'm too kind. I'm either not comprehending a single word you say, or I'm overanalyzing legit every single detail. And by that I mean, hi, how are you? What are you accusing me of? I'm either not getting a single thing done, or I'm an overachiever where all the parents just point at me and say, I want you to be like her. See, what I said right here was black or white, no gray. Black, white, no gray. You guys getting where I'm getting here? Okay. Extreme, extreme, no in between. So I have a few things that that has to be discussed when it comes to the gray area. And of course, as expected, the first of them will have to be our political background. We are victims. We are occupied, we are oppressed, we are sad, and we cry out for our losses. We try to drag ourselves into the gray area. And what is the gray area? What society tells you is perfect is always top, the best. Everything is going great. That's perfect. But in reality, perfect is actually a balance of the good and the bad, the happy and the sad. So when we try to drag ourselves into the gray area, we're trying to drag ourselves into the balanced area, because obviously there's no balance at all right now. So how can we drag ourselves into the gray area without being constantly pulled back into the black or white, which is what an occupation really is? We can implement the gray within ourselves and then implement it on that small portion or big portion of society that we affect. And then that, since individual with individual, individual with individual makes a group, we can together walk through a stronger, better, and greater future. The second thing I wanted to discuss was flaws. And no, I'm not talking about what society calls flaws. I'm not talking about the big nose or anything else. I'm talking about what you think is a flaw. And what do you think is a flaw? It's something that affects you in a bad way and affects everyone around you as well. So, flaws. In the black or white, you choose, keyword, choose, to avoid recognizing, you choose to avoid accepting, you choose to avoid solving and curing those flaws. Why? Because you are afraid. Afraid of what? You are afraid of being thrown out of the black or white. Because society makes you believe that if you are not weak, then you are strong. And if you are not strong, then you are weak. You are afraid of being called sick rather than healthy. So many of us, and I don't mean us as Palestinians anymore, I mean us as humans. So many of us have certain disorders. PTSD, ADHD, personality disorder, eating disorder. Yet we choose to avoid recognizing them. We choose to avoid solving them because we are afraid of being called sick. I am here to tell you that within the gray area, you recognize it, you accept it, and you fix it. Another place in the gray area that has to be discussed is traditions and cultures. On your way here, believe it or not, you went through a gray area. How? I'll get to that. Listen. When I was in 3rd grade, we were going to Ohio, and I get in the car, and we're passing by these houses, and of course, 3rd grade, I start processing what I'm seeing, and I see these houses, and they're all like organized and parallel, and I'm like, whoa, okay, this is amazing, okay? And then even those old houses, the old houses were still kind of the same as everything else. It was unbelievable. And I never really understood here in Palestine why these artsy-fartsy people out here taking pictures of all the houses they see. I mean, you have everything 50 times better in the US. Why would you take pictures of everything here? Why do you come here to begin with? And then I came back, and I recognized it. The way those traditional houses stand amongst the tall, modern glass buildings, the way the old stands amongst the modern, and the small stands amongst the tall, The confusion, the mess is what makes this place beautiful. The gray area, it's what makes this place beautiful. And that leads me to my next point. And it's your relationship with your tradition and your culture. Now, we know that you're either too attached to your culture, too much, complete Arab, and you hang on to those illogical things, like if you break your leg, you go eat falafel, or you are too free, and you're a Western wannabe. You just don't have an in-between. But I'm here to tell you that you're not supposed to be this or that. Imagine yourself as a flower. Wow, your flowers. Imagine yourself as a flower that has roots holding it down. And those roots are the cultures and traditions. They're holding you down. And the flower thrives and blooms. That's it progressing. That's it moving on and not hanging on to the illogical stuff. You want to be that flower. You want to be in between. You want to be gray. You don't want to be black. You don't want to be white. You want to be gray. That's your relationship with your culture, and that's how it should be. That's how we should move on. Another thing I want to talk about, Mom, this one's for you. Wants. Every time I say I want something, my mom goes, Masa, don't want something too much, habibti. So, wants. Don't want something too much, habibi. When you want something too much, let's say I want to get a 20 out of 20, and God forbid, I get a 15 out of 20, or a 5 out of 20 in chemistry. If I get that 5 out of 20, and I wanted that 20 out of 20 so bad, I will fall into a hole of hopelessness, despair, depression, probably, start eating ice cream for lunch, dinner, everything. That's because I didn't get what I wanted. That's because I made a want a need. This is the extreme. But then at the same time, over here, if I don't want anything at all, what's life without a purpose? You want something. You have to have something. You have to have a purpose. You got to aim for something. You have to set a goal. So you got to be in between. You got to want something, but then also don't make it a need. Want something in the gray area. Another thing, loved ones. See, before I made my speech here, I was practicing in the bathroom, and I was saying, keep your loved ones in the gray area. And the girl I was saying it to, she goes, my mom? In the gray area? Of course not. I have to be too attached. I have to love her too much. I'm here to tell you no. I'm sorry again, Mom. No. You can't be too attached to her. Why? I mean, keep in mind, gray comes in shades. Some shades leaning more to the black side. Some shades leaning more to the white side. You have to keep everyone in your life in that gray area. Because if you're too attached to someone, and then, God forbid, they die, or you break up with them, or you just lose them, you lost part of yourself as well. And we all know this. Every breakup story, everyone who loves someone so much and is so attached to them, and those people walk out of their lives, depression, hugs. But on the other hand, you don't want to be shallow, fake. Drake, where you at? You don't want to be too fake. Without love, what is life? Life has no meaning. It's worthless now. So what do? You keep them in the gray area. You love them. You feel. You keep them there for you. But then you're not too attached. You're not too attached. And that leads me to my last point. The gray area keeps you grateful. You know when life's going great, but like too great? Like any second there's a train wreck and you know it's coming. Last week was an amazing week for me. I was on top of the world. Every night, award. I was coming home, all my friends with me. It was great, man. It was amazing. I used to get full marks last week. Used to. And then my small sister, my hyperactive small sister, comes and hugs me. And that's really rare, but I didn't care. I'm like, okay, honey, I gotta go. Gotta go. Okay, I have to leave. But see, that's the thing. When you're too happy and you're black or white, when you're just living way up, you forget to appreciate the little things in life. And I mean this with all my heart. My little sister, when she used to hug me before that week, I used to, oh my God, I was the happiest person on earth. it was unbelievable. And so, being in the gray area, having that perfect balance between sadness and happiness, noticing the sadness because of happiness, and noticing the happiness because of sadness, being in this in-between keeps you grateful. And so, before I advise you to do it, I might as well do it myself. Every time I want to decide, extreme or extreme, I'm going to go in between. I'm going to walk down that gray path. Because even though it seems like a pretty gray path, it's actually a path of gold. Thank you.